Today is the end of what became a very long road. Hey everybody, it's Robert and you're watching Sidestep Adventures, and today we are back at Major Mitchell Cemetery out here in the woods of Georgia. We have made it back to Georgia from Alabama. There's Robert over there, Cody over there. So you remember on the previous video we found the tabletop monument, and its design seemed to coincide with these that we found out here on the wall. There's one there, there's another one over there, and step over the wall here, and these squares on this stone. So our assumption was that that stone was over this stone, suspended by those. Of course, those would have been intact at that time. Now, over here you may remember from previous video, we found these, which look like the corners of a false crypt. And there's also these pieces that are largely buried. Now that, to me, since it's narrow, looks like the side pieces that would have gone in a false crypt. And then there's another piece that's buried right there, and a piece right there. Now, out here, Robert's uncovering another brick pile we believe to be a tomb that's just beside the two children of H.A. and S.W. Mitchell that are buried right there.
This right here, see? That mortar is laid in there. So this is the wall right here, see? This isn't just a random brick tile. That is a real brick.
So we're uncovering the two boys' graves again. Now these are the two little boys of S.W. and H.A. Mitchell here. And while cleaning this stone off, Robert found this, where obviously this stone was supposed to sit.
And look here. One hole there.
One hole there,
and
one hole there. Yep, so those were supposed to be pinned on here.
How are they being pinned on there like that? Let's just see if they pinned on there, would they match up? I'm gonna lay it off to the side because I don't want to crush them. They would be close, wouldn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, they would match up if they pinned right on there. Interesting. Very interesting. And that is a... Tell you, let's pull one of them out and see what they are.
All right.
Let's pull one of these out. Are they steel or are they... Oh, look, they're intact. Look, rolled. A rolled pin. Probably hand rolled. Wow.
And what, 100, 150 years old maybe?
At least. What kind of metal is that? Copper? Tin? I didn't bring a magnet with me. Isn't that interesting? Two of them. That one's coming. I ain't gonna take it out though. I'm not gonna disturb the grave of these little children here. I'm gonna clean it up. Two brothers. And they died young, right?
Yep.
Different size. A big one and a little one. Look. Why? One child there, one child here?
Well, they each had headstones or something else.
Maybe there were separate headstones for them that sat on top.
I wondered that, yeah.
Possible. Maybe so.
Because those look like bases,
They do.
and like something
The
would
way
have sat on top
the way
of the
they roll up,
base.
yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and finish cleaning this off.
All right.
I'm gonna try and put them back like they originally were.
All right, so that's it right there. So I do wonder if there was something else on top of these two.
All right, Robert, you didn't know you getting in all this, did you?
No. I didn't. But
All right, everybody, so we've got a very special surprise out here. We are again out here at the Mitchell Cemetery, and joining us today out here is this gentleman right here who drove about 90 miles out
Something
here
like
today.
Hey everybody, my name is David Yoakley Mitchell, and this is Major John Mitchell, my 4th grade uncle, and my child's 5th grade uncle. And I am ecstatic that the Roberts, as they now are on my phone, contacted me and brought me this opportunity to come and visit and see him today, because after 180 years, it's nice to still meet family. And what I'm going to do is real quick, just kind of go through this, what Robert and I were talking about. If you look around here, you're going to see some pretty remarkable masonry. This masonry speaks volumes of the skill and the labor that was available at this period of time, and really how remarkable this westward expansion group was. If you go back over here to the Major, you're going to see all this that's pretty spectacular. Masonic symbols on it that are very unique, and I am not a Mason, but due to the number of insignias, various things that are on there, some sort of, different markings over, obviously it's something of caliber. You can see the space right here. After years and years, nature has been the biggest problem here. This has not been a man-made problem. Trees growing, things like that, an absence of certain care has created this. Robert, you come back over here. If you look underneath this stone, you can also see some of the maker's marks and the carvings in the stone. You can see where the hammer and chisel did this. I mean, this is really a remarkable, really kind of piece of art. You come back over here, you can see we have a vault, and you can see right here where all this brickwork is. Also, the size of these bricks gives you indication of the time frame. Obviously, the Major is buried before this is made. You also see, similar like in Middle Georgia and other things, this enclosure has no access. So you really kind of see this being a permanent kind of space. You come over to here, and you'll see what we would call a tabletop grave. And we have these two kind of pieces right here, this being a top, this being a bottom. You also see, again, the engraver's marks. And if you come over here, I'll walk right here real quick, you'll see where that fit into a space like this, which is pretty fascinating to think that you can still kind of have this. You go further down, you can see another one. You come here. Also too, right here is another example of those said tabletops right here. This broken, that's obviously a tree. I'm not saying it's nice that it's not vandals, but it's still reassuring to see that nature does claim when it's not interfered with. We come over here, and you can see right here, these two graves, and Robert had mentioned some of this earlier in some of his other videos, but again, they kind of clean this up. You see here now, just by doing some very basic kind of cleanup, something that was here, this would come here. So obviously these are the base pieces of what was here. You'd had some sort of urn or something here, making this a little bit more flashy. I don't know if they're missing, gone, simply just destroyed by time, but you really understand too just how pretty this is. Also too, seeing this kind of pre-war work really shows you an example of the complexity of what happened pre, during, and post. Another kind of mounded situation. You see the trees coming up through here. Now, come through here, you'll see some dips. I'm not an archaeological major, so I'm not going to speak on it, but the argument would be most likely potentially slave graves and or people of less economic means will be buried out here. You come to this little space though right here, and this is probably one of the most unique parts of it. When you really look at this masonry, this is 180 years, and look at the point. Look how fabulous this is. And that's pretty staggering when you think that's been here for 180 years and that's the way it stood the test of time. Finally, coming over here, we have what is some child that was buried and unknown. And I think this is really ultimately what makes what these two guys are doing so spectacular, is as we continue to try to understand who and what we are, both as a state, region, and nation, to have the opportunity to come here and kind of in the woods, look around and see the expansion and the experience of what these United States are, this is a really unique way of further understanding the complexity of the story which makes these United States. This is a real big treat, and I appreciate this, Robert. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I just want to second what you said. I mean, to me, this is history. This is the Mitchells. Major John Mitchell came here and helped to tame this country, along with his brothers, his nephews, his nieces, his brother-in-laws, his nephew-in-laws. The entire family expanded westward and helped to pretty much just tame this country and make this country the country that we have now. And without them, I wouldn't be here.
All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed seeing this bit of history in the woods in Georgia. And a big thank you to David Mitchell for coming out here. This is really cool to me because you guys saw in the first video, Robert and I came out here and documented Major Mitchell's grave. And now we're standing here with the fourth generation descendant, right? Fourth generation Mitchell. I think that is just too cool.
Pretty wild. Well, I want to thank you guys both again too, because the work you're doing is really making a lot of people aware that they can all do small things. Preservation is huge and how you approach it, but showing an affection and affinity for wanting to do something to connect the past to the present and learn how to improve is huge. And so I'm real thankful to what y'all are doing. Big deal.
Thank you. And also, I wanted to add, you're really knowledgeable about cemeteries.
You're very kind. I spend a lot of time. Well, I plan on spending a lot of time in one, so I want to do some research before I do it.
All right, I hope you all have enjoyed seeing this video. I'm sure that there will be more to come of the Mitchell Cemetery in the future, so you'll just have to stay tuned. We'll see you next time.